async functions in 2 minutes. If you've ever consumed data from an API, you've probably done something like this. Fetch the data and use promise chains to get the data when complete. While a step up from using callbacks to fetch async data, promises are not as intuitive as doing asynchronous operations in other languages. Enter async await to save the day. Create a function named getData with the async keyword in front of it. Then use the await keyword to wait for the promise to resolve. The value we would use .then to get access to will be generated by the await, so we can take that and store it in a variable response, as if we were saying something like x equals 5, except this waits for the response to resolve. We can then await the response.json, ultimately creating a promise chain but using the await keyword, making it easier to read. Await must always be inside of an async function, and await must also be provided a thenable, meaning it does not require a promise, just something with .then implemented. This async function will always return a promise because async functions are not an alternative to promises. Async functions use syntactic sugar on top of promises. We can also create an async function using error function syntax like so. We consume our data using the getData function, but notice that we must use promises since our getData call is not inside of an async function. Async await also provides more intuitive handling of errors. We can use a traditional try-catch block to handle errors experienced when await is executing. Of course, there comes times where we want to do situations such as consume more than one promise at a time. Say we're fetching multiple different data sets from our API. Typically, we would use promise.all to do this. And with await, we can still use that because remember, promise.all itself is just a promise, and async await uses promises. So we're able to await for our promise.all, fetch our data, and get the results out, and then return the results. And since this is a promise.all, we would be able to run as many promises as we wanted.